There it is. I'm not gonna play the entry video that I usually play. Here's the disclaimer. If you guys want to read it, go ahead, read it. Somebody once told me, if you have nothing, there's nothing to take from you. So I honestly, guys, need you guys' advice on a personal matter. So I really appreciate if you guys could sit to the end, listen to this video, and you guys can, I don't know, send a message to my cell phone privately or otherwise. So let's first start with crypto, Bitcoin. On a 15-minute this line, that I call it a trend line, for some reason not showing up correctly compared to 1 minute, and unless we go to 4 hour, then it's not showing up correctly on a daily chart. So here's we have broken through the trend line. We have ridden it until we broke through. As further it keeps down, the more it starts turning into that we will continue down. But I would like it to move a little bit further down to confirm that we are on our way to the bottom, but it's becoming more and more likely that that is happening. So if you guys like to trade a likely scenario, this could be a nice place for a short. But again, from my personal opinion, unless you're comfortable with another coin, I would short only Bitcoin, as it doesn't move as fast as some other coins do. But at the same time, if we continue going down, Bitcoin will move ahead of all the rest of the coins most likely, which then that means you guys can follow Bitcoin and kind of have an idea what will the other coins do, which can give you a little bit extra time. To react. Stating that I did sleep, then I got woken up, and then I slept too, kind of looked at some charts. And then I looked in my phone and discovered a text message. About 6 months before COVID started. Okay, this is a monthly calendar. So 2019, around August, September, so it'll be about 2 years now. A friend showed up at my front door explaining a financial problem and asked for me to help out. I'm kind of a person where I like to help people any way possibly can. At that point, I had some money, and when I had some money, I mean over 100K. And I said, sure. At the time, I liquidated my business, which actually had some money at that point. So I so he asked for help, and I said, sure, I'll try my best to help you as long as you can get your business back to operational. And he laid out how he's going to do it, and the way he approached, it's not something he needed in long term. He just needed something just for to get by for a month or two, three at the most. Which I calculate. I said, okay, I give and I get back. There was no, that I'm investing into business. There was no that I'm buying his business. There was no such a thing as um, there was none of that. There was there was not even such a thing as interest discussed any of that, because this was from heart to heart help. The amount is large, and when it got hard for me a month ago financially, really hard for me. You guys probably remember where my I broke down and fin- even broke down on the video on YouTube with the video. I kind of came to a decision, offered the guy the option to buy his debt, like I offer a settlement option. So I offered that he buys his debt, or he settles on his debt in about 20 cents on the dollar, which would give me some money to survive, as well as maybe start some kind of a local business or something. I don't know. Idea was to open up a low voltage electronic repair shop slash mechanic shop. We're primarily specialize in electrical and diagnostics, and continue with have Bitcoins chart run continuously through a projector onto a screen where I can constantly see what happens and update you guys as needed as I see something comes to my exposure, and kind of move that way, continue building the YouTube channel, build audience, help you guys, as well as solve my financial situation. As things continued, things not getting better for me. So I asked on Friday, since today is his deadline for the settlement, Will he be able to settle? Yeah, 80%. Today he comes back at me and says, the person he was counting on to give him the money did not. And the interesting part is, why tell me 80% possibility on Friday when he knew that the check will not clear if he gets the check on Monday at his bank account so he can deposit those money into my account? Obviously, the money he did receive the money, the bank and the bank did clear because that's the only way he was considering 80%. 80% possibility. Today, completely a different story. So here's my dilemma. I don't even know how to even start. I have a leverage that not gonna get my money back. And honestly, I picked up an application on Friday at Little Caesars. Actually, no, Saturday at Little Caesars because they're high right now. But the pay I'll receive there not enough to cover my monthly expense. In addition to all that, with secondary lockdown and most likely mask mandate and everything else, I won't be able to work there for long because of my mask anxiety developed over the last year and a half with this COVID. So it's a temporary partial band-aid. Plus, if I go work at Caesars, I won't be able to watch the charts. I won't be able to update you guys. I will be coming back tired because I'm over 350 pounds. I won't be able to be on the YouTube. So either I continue with all this and start trading heavily, which might be why universe is pushing me this way to make the necessary income to survive, or not. But now let's go back to that guy. And if you have started watching this, definitely at the end go back and watch from the beginning so you kind of have an idea. I met this guy over 10 years ago, and over the period of time, I know so much that at one time he told me that I am the only living human being that is in danger to his continuation of living free or something down those terms. And truly, I do know the dark side of his life, dark side that some people would love to find out. In nature, I am not that kind of a person to go and do report somebody. I personally believe that God should actually get involved in that. But then I always say in my life, has ever God came down on earth and done something without using human beings? So based on that, my question becomes, am I being put in this position to be a tool of God to actually do something about it. I do not know. My question to you guys is this: what would you guys do in my position? Would you guys look this other side and forget about that you, or in my accusation, me, that I gave away the possible future of my family to someone that didn't deserve it? What would you do in that case when somebody took advantage of you? Like he took advantage of me in my situation. My wife said not too long ago, and that was partially referring to this guy, that when you bless somebody with the blessings that God gives to you, pretty much you give the blessings to him and you get left without anything. And what would you guys do? Would you guys actually go and make everything that you know public and then let people decide what's next? Would you just forgive, even if now you are put in a position that you kind of almost see no way out? And that's not including some of the threats I received today from him. When I said I will get on YouTube, and actually I will expose everything. Seems like yesterday one thing, and I already know what that thing is about yesterday. But today is like another thing, and I'm trying to figure out what exactly is God trying to tell me. What exactly my lesson that I'm not seeing. I'll be guys honest. It's a lot easier to see somebody else's situation than to see your own, because you're in that situation. You're looking at all outcomes in detail, where sometimes you need someone from the outside that can look at the wide picture, not at the detailed picture, and kind of point a way out. So if you guys willing to listen to this video again, and if you guys are okay commenting under the video, appreciate it. If not, where is it? On the top left corner, you can see my number. You guys should be able to do it with WhatsApp. If I'm not mistaken, I have it on my phone. I just need to, I think, activate it, because since I reset my phone, I remember if I did activate WhatsApp on my phone or not. Um, Also, in the description, you guys can find Twitter, and I believe you guys can do one-on-one on Twitter, if I'm not mistaken. Which I do not have a Twitter on my phone, but I do have it on my computer. It's just I need to learn the habit of checking it. So I really guys appreciate if you guys could maybe give me your guys' input. I'll be honest, if I had to go public with the information, it would impact his family life dramatically and permanently. And there was a lot of people that got hurt by his behavior. I don't know what to do. At the same time, I'm kind of, pissed, and I wanted to, the thing that when you're pissed you or want to do. But the same thing, when you think about it, is that godly? But then, if you don't stop that kind of a person, how many more people will get hurt? So, really appreciate if you guys could go back, watch it, and somehow give me a feedback. What do you guys think I should do? Now, let's get back one more time to Bitcoin. On trading the areas that we haven't traded yet, I don't see where we are right now on Bitcoin that it's doing that. So one thing off the list. Two, we're coming down. We have broken through this trend line, the second trend line that I had. So that's confirmed on the chart. Three, looks like we might be coming back, try to bounce back from the trend line. That's possible. So um, we have came down a little, which is not far enough to confirm. I'll be honest, we kind of came more here with an AM build, with a beautiful AM build here compared to this AM here. That's a little bit wider than this one and might be a little bit better seen on a 4 hour chart. Let's look at that. Which you could also see this M as well. We got higher this time than the last time. So last time we was at 46.5. Now we got to 48. So the situation is about the same. We can turn around and level up to further up because it just almost seems like it's about the same repeating process. Or we can continue down and churn this as a as a short term head and shoulder, and then turning all this into long term head and shoulder, which means long term there's going to be a head. Here's considered to be shoulder, and then somewhere in this area would be hip, and then 20 or 10,000 per Bitcoin would be considered as a bottom. Or we would just turn around and go up to level up, break through 49 and get stuck somewhere under 49.5, not able to break it through, and then repeat something similar to this or this, which both of them are M's, and then have two outcomes at that point. Come back to 50,000, try to break through it a couple times, and finally break through it, and end up using 50% as a support at that point and continue up, or after multiple attempts, start our way down. So honestly, it's about three outcomes. One outcome, we continue down. The second outcome, we come up to 50,000, get rejected multiple times, come down. And the third outcome is we come up to 50,000, break through it, and continue out. So those are the three outcomes I see right now as a time. As for between next 12 hours, next to 24 hours to the next couple days up to a week. Depends. If we go up and to 50,000, then might last up to a week before we see an outcome. Or if we start continuing down, then into the next day or two, we'll see for sure where we at, and this actually will be obvious and clear that we are on our way. Um, I would love to see us break somewhere somewhere at 44 before it becomes a 90% obvious that we are coming down, instead of right now it's a 50-50 and down or up. If we decide to go up, a lot of these coins, as you guys can see, have turned red and would be a perfect entry on some of those coins to go up. But again, that's a 50-50 chance. If you get in on these coins, we would like to actually get in on those before they start traveling up. And that, that kind of like it's becomes almost a gamble, 50-50 gamble. And I do not like those gamble outcomes. Even, if you look that we are on an up rising trend, and we do not have much evidence we're moving down. As we broke outside of this trend here, there's going to be another breakout continuation to the top. So obviously becomes a 55 chance possible going up, 45 chance that we are going down. So there is that possibility. Tonight, as I told him, I'm going to go public on YouTube. He threatened me he's going to call the cops and get me arrested. On which grounds? That I have something against him? That's kind of interesting. The grounds. So if I am available and I'm still in front of a computer and able to do the recording, I will come up, and as I see something of interest, I will share. Um, I will try to stay up tonight till probably 6, 8 o'clock New York time. I'm talking about in the morning. Think I had probably had quite a bit of enough of sleep to probably survive that long. So anything I see, I'll share with you guys, especially if I see possibilities of entries um, for going up. Um, on one of the last two videos, if you guys look, I think not the last video, the video before that, or maybe it's the last I remember at this point. But I did share um, coins that I have marked right now green. All those coins still have not leveled up to the levels that some other coins have leveled up. So any one of them that has a green on the left, those coins still have opportunities, and I showed levels that they can rise to unless Bitcoin start going down seriously. So if you see that there's a possibility that this can go up, some of these coins do have an opportunity of going up. Now, since it's 5 o'clock, for the last couple of weeks, as I watched the chart, between 4 and 5 o'clock usually is a perfect time to get um, into trades, because usually this is where the clause of New York stock market kind of releases and gives more freedom for the coins to actually travel compared to being locked into positions that they doesn't go nowhere other than sideways, or just gets a small bursts of ups or downs. Um, so that's why one of the reasons why I like to sleep through the New York time than then trade it, because most of the time it becomes unsuspected move, too control move, too manipulated of moves during that time, um, and you have higher chance of losing money during that period of time unless you're already in and you're in good profit and you're willing to take a couple percent of risk, um, compared to as a day trader. We usually don't allow more than a 1/10 of a percent of a risk, and at that point we bail out and look for another possibility, which during New York times sometimes it's hard to find those possibilities. I will be hoping to hear from you guys, possible your guys' opinion on my situation, and see how it goes. I bless every single one of you, and if I won't have a chance to speak to you guys again, just remember one thing: I love every single one of you, and I wish you guys the best, even though what is coming will start here next month or so and last through the winter and possibly the next 2 to 3 more years. You guys will be able to survive those things and come out on the other side blessed. I do believe certain of you out there that have gained God's mercy God will protect you. Rest of you guys are in for a hell, and including me too, because even if he be able to get away and they put me behind bars, I don't even understand under what conditions, but I guess there's a lot of people behind bars that didn't deserve to be there, so why I cannot be one of those people as well. But when bad times come around, a lot of those people not were not supposed to be there, ended up there, probably will be let go, and some of them will go to accidental termination because government will not be able to support those facilities at that time. So we'll see how it goes. I do appreciate you guys going back, watching the video, and commenting, because I'm not. Hey, Ike, I'm reading your comment. He doesn't like my videos because what? Why? Because I don't support that we might not be going down tomorrow, or I don't support saying that we are going down imminently when possibility we might not be going down for another 2 3 days or a couple weeks, or there's another reason that I just don't want to say it publicly, that I did tell him privately, and it's the truth, and he doesn't want to hear the truth. Okay, all this video was not about Tom, so guys, don't consider this as totally not about Tom. But Ken's a superstar tough. Can you explain what you mean by Ken's a superstar tough? I'll be honest, and here's this is not related to anything about the whole video, about all of this video. This is completely something separate, and I have a higher goals of my morals. I try not to cause. I try not to put myself around people that do cause, because it's easy to develop those bad habits. It's hard to fight them and push back. I don't smoke. I don't drink, and I don't use any form of tobacco. I don't use drugs. I don't do any of that. And I'm from Ukraine. I've been brought to the United States as a child. We left the home country when I was 7 years old. Came to U.S. At the age of 9 due to religious reasons. My parents flee the Soviet Union at that time. Um, Due to my father preaching everywhere about God, um, government did everything in power to set my dad up to put him away permanently. So thanks to things from help from certain people that were overseas, they helped us escape the Soviet Union regime, and through the long process, we kind of made it to America. Otherwise, I would be growing up without that. Um, so going back to the morals. So do have a high standards for my morals and continuation of listening certain language. It was destroying me. I tell you guys honestly, I repeat the F words in my thought at least 3 to 4 times through the day right now. Where before I met Tom's channel, I went months without actually thinking or hearing that word. So, did that did good for my morals? Did that get good for me personally? I personally don't think it did. That's one thing. Then two, um, at the prices we are at right now, and if I would, if I would, if I would never met Tom, I would continue still ignoring my inner feelings, and I would have never sold out. Instead of selling out late, I never would have sold out, and I probably would have right now recovered on some of the money that I bought in late when we already were halfway down. Right now, I would have recovered like Ada. I would have recovered 90% of my money that's lost there. Uh, Vito, I would have recovered about 70% of money that I was there. So did Tom. Plus, I would have not had you guys. I would have not had the channel. I would have not had you guys, and I would have not be sharing. But at the same time, I still would be still holding on to my rules instead of breaking every single one of them, turning back into a gambler and sell it off and start gambling based on what I hear. So was it really a blessing? In some way, yes, because now I have a channel. I have you guys that I can talk to. But then But then at the same time, not sure. Not sure. Um, so, hey, I will never say not to listen, Tom. That's for sure. Um, but I'm not sure if all of you do have what it takes to filter out that language. Like for me, I do not have what it takes to filter out that language. So, does he know? Yes, I did. And my rule, one of the rules in my trading is you do not sell um, at loss. You always sell at profit. With having about $25,000 of my client's money on the table, if I would have waited until we hit the bottom and came back up, and honestly, it's either happen in the next couple weeks, or we go reaching the top in January, February, March. It's one of the it's one of the two. Either we're seeing in the top in September, or we're seeing that or sooner maybe than September, or we're seeing the top in January, February, March. But what I'm seeing the top is we're getting past 65,000 above on Bitcoin. If I would have held on and stayed on and stuck to my rules where I only sell at positive, um, I would have recovered my all the money, including um, but I would have not, and I would have, at that point, tripled my money with where I believe we're going. Either way, at least tripled. Um, Now, when I'm talking about 25,000, those are the hard money in. But when we were at the top, the account was around 50,000, which was doubled than what the actual money put in. So if I count also the profit, yeah. And I did break my rule, and I liquidated everything, which I should have not. And sometime when you start taking on other people's opinion, you start making your decisions that you should have never made. So yeah, but here's a little tip and a question. And again, I'm not saying again anything other than the language that Tom uses. I'm not saying anything else about the guy. But if the person, and that's including me, and most of you guys gonna say, okay, I'm not following Slavic anymore. If that's how you feel, then you have to do what you feel. And I'll have nothing against you guys. But here's my question about every YouTuber out there that teaches any sort of analytics, unless he discovered analytics, and like me, I just discovered the way that Tom looks at analytics and never looked on the charts with that approach. And never looked at the charts with the M's, heads and shoulders, W's. Never. This is something I learned from Tom. Uh, but again, unless the person out there just discovers something new and they starting to apply and figure out how to use that in their trading system. Um, you look back at their last 6 months, at the last 12 months, the last 24 months, depends how long they're trading. And if they're bringing in money and they're putting money in their pocket, in their personal pocket, that means they can help you put money in your pocket. If they're not putting money in their personal pocket, or they're putting in money, let's say only 10, 15% a month in their personal pocket, ask yourself, based on the dollar amount that you have to trade, can you live off of that? Because I kind of look at it and I'm like, okay, this guy took in 3 months and he took 25,000, he turned 25,000 to 75,000. So he tripled his money in 3 months. Okay, maybe he doesn't teach what Tom's teaches, but at least this guy onto something. Now during this crash, I go back and I look at the same guy and I'm like, he took that 150,000 that he was at, and I'm not naming somebody, but I am referring to somebody on YouTube, and he brought that 75,000 without changing anything, continuing the trading the way he was trading, and he brought that 130,000 down to 15,000, and you're like, okay, he's good when we're going up. He's definitely not good when we're going down. So it's a good idea to watch this guy when we start climbing back up, but at the same time, you pick any coin when we're traveling up, any of the one of the better coins, and I'm talking about ADA, and I can goes through and kind of show you a couple of the better coins. If you pick a couple of those better coins, you can do the same that that guy that does. So what exactly are you gaining by watching that guy that does 3 times in a good market and destroys his account in a bad market? So I'm not here to tell you guys should not listen to me. I have discovered something that I'm trying to add to my approach. I will be honest with you guys. When I started trading crypto, I discovered crypto about a year ago. But as I discovered crypto at the time, I didn't consider IQ. I do not understand your KK. Not sure what does that mean. Um, as I discovered crypto, I didn't know that crypto can be traded. I When I discovered crypto a year ago, I thought crypto can be only bought and held as an investor. I didn't even know that there's trading platforms, that there's way to uh, turn crypto back into digital dollar, which I mean digital, that's USTD, so you can actually get in and get out. So I discovered that crypto can be traded in about March of this year. That So between August and March, I I had one biggest question. When we start crashing, how do I sell my Bitcoin? Because at that point I had Bitcoin, I had Ethereum, and I had Tron. Those were the 3 coins that I had. And I did not have a clue how to prevent a loss during a dump. So then in March I discovered, or it started in February, and then in March I discovered that there is ways to actually go about it. In February, I discovered how to lose a lot of money by using platforms like Uphold and other platforms out there, Voyager, huge fees, upload expensive fees, uh, Tron app at that time, which then they went to Clever app again, unreasonable fees. So I discovered the hard way how to lose money by buying coins, and and that's buying Bitcoin, buying Ether, and buying Tron. All of those, I paid almost 30% in fees just to buy those coins. So that was my shock. Uh, that's why today I ask every single one of you one simple question. You know, somebody to give me an answer why people still use these platforms and pay those huge fees to trade. That's the only simple question that I looked for the answers. A lot of people refuse to look. Yeah, it's not worth it. And that's where, if I even walked away, or no no longer been able to get online and do another video to you guys, I don't think that's going to happen, or at least I don't feel it's going to happen. But if that were to happen, some of the videos you guys will find in my training platform, like video 1, 2, 3, 4, how to get on Binance.com. Um, for those of you that are paying huge fees, at least I cut your fees by at least 5%, or I made those fees not even 5%. Cut your fees probably by 95%, and I made it so cheap for you to trade on the fee side that it's almost a joke. Um, Here's something that I will let you guys know. If everything goes okay and there's no problems for me, and I don't end up going working for Little Caesar, and I start staying up during the night hours and sleeping during the New York time, market time. Uh, yeah. Hey, IQ. Yes, that's the only answer. You get into a trade to break even. The market went up 5%, and you're like, and it's only costing me 5% just to get to where I was. Yeah, that's the fees out there, between 3 to 5% on average. Uh, then I'll turn this 4 o'clock as a time where we 4 o'clock New York time afternoon as a time where we will have regular live YouTube session, where we will go through coins. We will pick out possible coins to trade for the next 16. Uh, you know, um, so possible to trade for the next 16 to 20 hours. Also, as well, some like right now, I'm seeing Bitcoin most likely starting to break up. As long as it continues and it will not get rejected from this trend line right here, and continue being pushed further down, some of these coins might be perfect coins to get in. So, I'm looking into possibly make this as a permanent 4 o'clock New York time, as a time of video that might last 1 to 3 hours. Depends, as we watch, as market responds, and yada yada yada. At this time, I have nothing left to lose, so why not get serious behind the monitor? Now, if you guys have something more valuable to do than sit with me in front of the monitor, and it pays you better than crypto does, maybe that's not for you for now, until you can afford to sit. I'm not here to steal your time, and I do not want to steal your time. For some people, their time is more valuable right now than crypto until we get to the bottom. So, yeah, definitely value evaluate according to some of my beliefs that taking these people's time from them is the same thing as stealing something from them, and that's not what I want to be. So if it starts becoming where I become stop bringing you value, please let me know, and I'll try to adjust. End of the day, uh this card. How would I find you there? I when I left, stopped listening to Tom's channel. It was also fair at the same time. Exit this Tom discard and no longer go back since I'm no longer paying for it. Okay, let me write that down. ID is IQUE. Okay, I'll try to figure out because I never searched people on this card other than finding them at the channel. But I'll figure that out and I'll find you there. Hey guys, um, I don't think there's much I can give you guys until this thing reveals itself. Either gets rejected and we start dropping, or breaks through, which then there is a possibility we will go to break to 48 and maybe even possibly through 49. So that's my outcome on Bitcoin. If we do break through this resistance, I would definitely pick one, two, or multiple coins, and because they will continue riding from this green list. Here, I'll do this green list, and then you guys can actually look at the coins that here are this list. So you can pause the video and pick those coins, look at them, study them. If you go back and watch the last video or the video before that, you guys will be able to also find targets because I went through every single coin and I showed you guys the targets on those and pick out something. What I would actually do is actually go through and plan your trade. So go through that list right now. Find the coin that interest you, that have targets that you believe they can go to, and have those coins ready. Put together a plan of a price you would prefer to enter into, a price of your target to take profit, and also a price of a target if this thing for some reason turns around against you, where you be willing to sell. And when you do go into a trade, you already at this time, you're no longer just gambling. You already laid out a plan that you're actually going to carry out. And it's the most important part in trading is actually putting a plan together, buying low, selling high. So you put in a plan together to buy as low as possibly can after certain events get triggered. And when those events do trigger and you enter the trade at lowest possible position and write it up. Or if you're taking a short, then you write it down, whichever way, which I do not recommend trading heavily on shorts because they can destroy you really quick. I will come back to update you guys if any changes have become reality, and definitely go back to the first part of this video and let me know what your opinion is. What should I do? Blessings to all.